Everyway discusses the elements of plot and also some of the major plot paradigms. We're going to discuss those. Every story is a war story is by far the most common paradigm, or as Charles Baxter paraphrases it, hell is a story-friendly place. We see clear evidence of this in Tobias Wolff's Bullet in the Brain, where the trajectory of desires that get thwarted, leading to a conflict into an all-out war, is seen on both an external and an internal level. Externally, we have conflict between Anders and the bank robbers. Internally, within Anders' head, we have a part of him that wants to survive and a part of him that, more than wanting to survive, wants to rebel against cliché. We also have the paradigm here of every story being a love story. And by love story, we refer to the connection-disconnection paradigm, where we have someone like Anders who is disconnected, and we go back in time through the flashback inside his brain and see how that disconnection came about. We see all the things that he was once connected to that he no longer is. And we see at the end a moment of grace where, before that bullet leaves his brain, he experiences once more the memory of a true moment of connection for him. Another paradigm for us to look at is that of mystery. Flannery O'Connor refers to a complete story as one where nothing more relating to the mystery of that character's personality could be shown through that particular dramatization. But the thing with Flannery O'Connor is that she's using the word in two ways, and she has two different meanings. So we have mystery in terms of an Agatha Christie puzzle where we are putting the pieces together until we have solved the mystery of who that person is. We also have the idea of mystery in the traditional Catholic religious sense of a consecrated change, of a transformation, especially into a state of grace. So we're looking at it in both senses. Sometimes the character solves the mystery. They become aware, or they achieve a form of grace, or fall from grace, a transformation. Sometimes it's the reader watching what happens to the character, going through the story, that has that moment of realization, that has an epiphany that the character may or may not have. Our last paradigm is that of tragedy. This comes from Kenneth Burke's Dialectic of Tragedy, originally applied to plays, to dramas, but which we can also use for understanding story. The dialectic of tragedy begins with purpose, with motivation, and our protagonist experiences a crisis, a moment of great intensity and suffering. Think of passion in terms of, like the expression, the passion of the Christ, the suffering of Christ, similar sense of passion. Once the character has gone through that suffering and it's been resolved one way or another, that character is sadder but wiser. They have a new perception, either of the world or of themselves. They have a knowledge, often tragic. That's either the end of the story, or if we have another chapter, the protagonist has a new purpose and things go on from there. Bullet in the Brain seems to play with this idea. I imagine Wolff, after having received a horrible book review, sitting down to write a lambasting, a critique of critics, and yet finding that his flat character of Anders, once he undergoes the climax of his crisis, once that bullet goes into his brain, is revealed to be a round character, is revealed to be a character that, if we are human and they are human, we can't help but to understand. And so the tragic knowledge is the knowledge, either for Wolff or for the reader or both, that flat people, flat characters aren't really flat. We're keeping them flat because it's easier for us to see them that way. It's much easier to be angry or to dehumanize or to slight a flat character rather than a round character, or a perception of a person that is a rounded perception. So every story is a war story, a love story, a mystery, and a tragedy.